Welcome, my name is Jesse and you are listening to The Wake Up Call. This show is about opening your eyes to how you've been living, bringing awareness to the standard you've been operating at, and helping you start living to your full potential. There are two ways I'll help you do this. One, by disciplining your mind, and two, by strengthening your body. It's time to take stock of your current performance and go to the next level. Let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of The Wake Up Call. Today's episode, I am going to crush and dispel the myth of motivation. Now, having been involved as a personal trainer and strength coach for 12 years, this is probably the single biggest killer of fitness dreams. The myth of motivation. Jesse, I just can't seem to get in shape. I can't stick to my diet or my training program because I just don't feel motivated. I don't feel like training today, so I'm not going to do it. I felt like having lollies and I didn't feel like having a salad. I wasn't motivated. Motivation. I want to stop you right there. If this has been you in the past, I am hoping that this will be the catalyst to help you stop relying and waiting for more motivation to get you the results that you want. Motivation is not going to help you get to where you want to go. If you do happen to be motivated, awesome. You are probably going to do the things you need to do. You are going to make the correct decisions. You're going to take the right actions. But my question to you is, what do you do when you are not motivated? On the days where perhaps it's really cold, it's wet, it's windy, and maybe you just feel like having something hot and warm to keep you, toasty if it's the middle of winter, or if, perhaps you're not feeling too crush hot and you've had a long day at work and you don't feel like going to the gym, you don't feel motivated or inspired, what are you going to do? Because that right there is the difference between the people who succeed in improving their body and those who don't. It is very simple why one person succeeds with their goals and the other person doesn't. One person follows their plan to a T, so they have a plan, they have a structure, they have a routine in place, and they follow it. And the other person doesn't. So you need to start to decide which one of these people do you want to be. Do you want to be the person who relies on motivation to get you through and you just wish and hope and pray that all of the chips fall in place? Or do you want to create your own success? I always like to try and take the most amount of responsibility for myself possible. I don't like other people having my results in their hands, and you shouldn't either. And that's essentially what motivation is. It is an external force or a feeling, an emotion, which people rely on to get them where they want to go. On the days you feel motivated, awesome. You're going to have no issues doing the things you need to do. But on the days you don't have it, do not fucking wait for it, because it will never arrive, which is why you need to find something else to replace it with. So when I begin working with clients, when somebody reaches out to me and, perhaps they stumble across my website and they think, I want to do something about my body. I want to improve the way that I feel, the way I look, and the way I function. I'm just not happy with where I'm at. When people come to see me, I ask them, I often, just sit down with them and ask them, just tell me some reasons why perhaps you haven't got the results that you want in the past. And this person will rattle off, a few reasons or things that have, held them back from achieving what they want. I've been lacking motivation. I've been inconsistent with my training. My diet's been all over the place. I've had a bit of an injury, so, I decided not to do anything and let that heal. And some people say, I just don't know what to do. So there's a whole host of reasons perhaps why the person who's come to see me is here in the first place. But always, almost 100% of the time, motivation is on that list. What is the reason that you just can't seem to get results? Or what is one of the reasons that people fail to hit their goals? Oh, they're just not motivated. They can't stay motivated. Without fail, somebody always says motivation. Now, while it is a part of the puzzle, it is not what you need. I'm going to hopefully shock you right now with this statement. You do not need motivation to be successful. Contrary to all of the happy-go-lucky, fuzzy, lovey-dovey memes and motivational quotes you see across social media, you do not need motivation to get the body of your dreams. You do not need motivation to change your body and improve your life. You don't need it. Is it good to have? Yes, but it is not an essential component. So, for you listening, I want to educate you and explain to you that really there are only two reasons why you will not reach your specific fitness goals, whether it be to improve your strength, whether it be to drop body fat, or whether it be to improve your fitness. There's really only two reasons. Reason number one, you have a bad program which you follow. So you have a program which is very generic. It's a one size fits all, or it's a cookie cutter type program. So it's, maybe you get it for $19.99, or, maybe you do a 28-day challenge, which gets spread out to thousands of people, and everybody gets the same fucking program. And you decide to follow it. So you follow a program, but it doesn't generate the results that you want. Okay, so you've just followed a program which is not the right fit for you. That's number one. The second reason why people don't reach their fitness goals and why perhaps you haven't hit yours is because you have, or in the past you have had a specific custom just for you program and you didn't follow it. Those are really the only two reasons. It's like when you get in your car and you drive to work. You know your starting point. Point A, that's your home destination. That's generally where you'd probably leave. And point B is your work or your office location. So that is a direct route, point A to point B. Now, if you're new to a job and you know point A because you live there, you currently reside in a certain building or premises, and you know point B, you've heard of the location, but you've never been there before. You don't just take the route you're familiar with. If you've never been to this location, it's basically going to end up in failure. You're never going to get to that destination because you have no map. You don't know how to get from point A to point B. So that's essentially what you need. You need a map. You need clear directions to get you from point A, where you are right now, to point B, where you ultimately want to be with your body, fitness, and life. So I'm going to share with you the formula for success. This is what you need to be successful with your goals. Number one, you need to know exactly what to do. So you need to have a great plan specific for you, for your age, your gender, your body, your current and previous injury history, your training age. So if you are, say, 35 years old and you have never done any strength training before, your training age is 0. I'm currently 29 years old. I've been strength training since I was 16. So I have a training age of 13. Okay? There are a number of factors that go into this, but you have to have a plan specific for you, your body, your life, and your circumstances. So maybe you're a 28-year-old single male living on your own. You need a program which caters for your lifestyle. And if you're a 42-year-old mum of 3 with a husband and a dog named, what are we going to call the dog? Let's call him Joe. You've got a dog called Joe. You need a program and a routine based upon those that circumstance, okay? So you need to know exactly what to do. You have to have a plan based upon your personal situation. Number 2, you need to understand how to do it all. So if you have a strength training program, for example, you need to know exactly what exercises to do. You need to understand how to do them all correctly using the right technique. If you're doing a bench press, where does the bar start? Where does the bar finish? What are you doing with your feet? What are you doing with your midsection? You need to understand how each exercise is performed with the correct technique so you can maximize the effectiveness of it, but also reduce your risk of injury. That's what I'm talking about. You need to understand how to do it. That's the exercise portion of things. Then the third piece you need to know is you have to discover why you are doing each of the things that are on your great plan. So if, for example, if I have you, for example, doing a strength training program 3 times per week, you need to understand why you're doing it for 3 times per week. I could design you a program for 6 times per week, but it might mean that your chances of success and doing 6 times a week becomes quite low. So the reality is sometimes doing less is more. If I design you a program to do 6 times per week and you only do it 50% of the time, you've just failed 50% of the program. So I would rather you do 3 times per week and be 100% successful. You can see the sort of connection between success and failure there. You need to be very realistic with where you're at, what your current expectations are, but also what your reality is. If you're 20 kilos overweight and you tell me I eat really good, but I'm sorry, I've got to stop you there because you're 20 kilos overweight. Your actions have told me that you are not actually eating very well because you have 20 kilos more than what you want. So you need to understand why you are doing what you are doing. If you're strength training 3 days a week, why is it? Okay, you're going to train Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the reason I want you to train Monday, Wednesday, Friday is because you'll be able to train intensely on Monday. Your full body, we do full body training so you can train more frequently, but also recover enough to repeat it. So on Monday, yeah, you might have a little bit of muscle soreness on Tuesday, but we can do some walking in between. And then on Wednesday, you should be good to go again for round 2. And then the same thing is true for Friday. I hope that makes sense so far. So once you've got those 3 components, you know exactly what to do, you understand how to do it all, and you understand why you are doing it. Those are the 3 components. There's only one thing left to do. Take action and execute the plan. So, not once in that little spiel did I say that you need motivation. If you have a plan, it's like a process at work. If you have a step-by-step process, you don't need motivation. The process is designed to take you from point A to point B. You start a job, you complete it in this form or this fashion to create an end result and an outcome. That's all it is. So, motivation is great when you have it, but it's fleeting and unreliable. So I liken motivation to the tide. It comes in and it goes out. It comes and goes like the tide. Motivation is untrustworthy. Do not rely on it. I need you to find, and you need to find, something more reliable. And that something else is discipline and self-accountability. Now, while I am a coach and my clients do lean on me and I assist them with their goals, you ultimately need to take ownership and accountability for your own goals and your body. The last podcast I talked about your body is your responsibility, and it 100% is. So this is I want you to take away this last piece here before I start wrapping up here. If your goal is not inspiring, you need to find another goal. If you need more motivation, your goal is not meaningful or strong enough. So if your goal is, I want to lose 5 kilos. If you can't tell me why it's important for you to lose 5 kilos, that goal sucks. You need to find a new one. If you do not have any conviction or meaning or clarity behind your goal and what it means to you and why you want to achieve it, you will not do the things you need to do. You will not do what is necessary to achieve the goals that you want because your goal is just not strong enough. I recently had a session with a client where we did a focus session. This is a deep dive into personal goals and also how to remove bottlenecks and limiting factors. So the things which might halt or slow down progress. And it was a great session. And I'm sharing this with you because this will hopefully show you the type of strength that you need for a goal. During this focus session, I asked a host of different questions, trying to dig deep into what this person's goal was. And this person sitting in front of me, sitting, a couple meters away, started tearing up. She started crying. And I said to this person during our session, I said, I'm glad you cried. Not because she was crying, not the act of crying itself, but because it was meaningful. She was crying because it meant so fucking much to her, and that's why she came to see me. She cared so much about her goals, and she was laying it all on the table. Her goal had a big meaning and was personal to her, and I could see that. And I said, look, I'm glad you cried because it shows me that you care and you give a shit. If you do not have any emotion and any connection to your goal, if it doesn't mean anything to you, you're not going to do anything that requires you to get uncomfortable. And I'm sorry to break the news to you. If you have big goals, if you have big ambitions, you're going to have to do things that make you uncomfortable. That is just the way That's the way it goes. And if you're not okay with that, you might want to find yourself a different goal, or resolve, or bring yourself back to the fact that, maybe you're just going to stay that way, because when things get tough, you might not do the things that you need to do. So your goal needs to be powerful enough to call you into action in the absence of motivation. Are you still going to do what's required when you don't want to? So you're never going to reach your goal if you are constantly searching for more motivation. And you might be able to scour the internet and, click on the Rocky running up the stairs video, and it might get you hyped up. And you can do that day after day. But it's only surface level stuff. You're never going to do it on a regular and a long-term basis, because your goal just doesn't mean anything to you. So that's what I'm saying. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on you. So if the only time you do what you need to do is when you're inspired or motivated, you will be on the merry-go-round forever. You will continue the cycle of being a yo-yo dieter. I feel really inspired. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to eat well. I clear out my pantry. I get fresh foods in. And then suddenly it's the middle of June or July. It's freezing ass cold, and you don't want to eat your salad. And you don't want to eat your chicken breast. All you want to do is swing by the drive-thru and grab something that's warm, tasty, salty, sugary, sweet. That's what happens when you don't have motivation. You take the easy option every time. So you'll have the exact same problem and the same body and the same weight issues in 2, 5, or 10 years from today if you continue to rely on motivation. Unless you decide to start flexing your discipline muscles, you will keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Fuck motivation. Trust in discipline. Start to become a person of discipline. Do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it. That is how you build self-esteem, and that is how you build confidence. It's not by being highly motivated every single day. I don't feel motivated to get up early in the mornings every single day. Fuck no. But I know the reason why I'm doing it. So I decide to do it. So when you do those things, when you follow through on your actions, when you say, I'm going to get up 15 minutes early and I'm going to read 10 pages of a book, you can look yourself in the mirror and you can stand up tall and say, hey, you did it. You followed through. I'm proud of you. I feel fucking great for that. Motivation will let you down. Discipline and strength will not. Don't be a motivation person. Don't look for more catchy quotes, memes, and shit that gets you inspired for 1 minute and then it disappears. Take action. Follow the fucking plan, even when you don't want to do it. Especially when you don't want to do it. That is how you will get the best results of your entire fucking life. That's all I've got for today, guys. Fuck motivation. Trust in discipline. If you loved the Wake Up Call, found it entertaining, or got some benefit out of listening, I would appreciate you helping me to spread the word. Please share it with a friend or on social media so that you can pay it forward and give someone else the opportunity to improve themselves like you just have. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon for another episode.